What is going on, everybody? What is going on, everybody? My name is JeffLightsyJr. This is the Victor Formation Sports Show right here on JeffLightsYJr. YouTube, Facebook, and wherever you get your content. Come on into the room. Come on into your room. Put your name and where you're from. Put your name and where you're from, because we're under 90 days away till football season. And boy, oh boy, do y'all got the football streets turning up. What's going on, DJ Smoke? Feeling currently, I don't know what that means. But anyway, what is going on, everybody? Because I've seen a lot of interesting things over the last couple of days when it comes to Jackson State and when it comes to content and people on social media. And I love all of it, honestly. I love all of it. What's going on, Christopher Duke? Shout out to Christopher Duke, man. I see you in the comments all the time, and I appreciate you, even if you don't know it. But it has been some interesting stuff that I've been seeing, man. It's so interesting to see that I see why Jackson State fans and Jackson State representatives and Jackson State people say what they say and do what they do and feel the way that they feel. It's because of the general public. It is because of the general public, and we're going to talk about it. What's going on, Joe? Sabrina, I see you in the comments. Yes, they're always watching. They're always watching, man, and it is crazy, but we got more. We're going to be right back after the bumper. Stay tuned. Boy, we got a good show today. Yes. What is going on, everybody? My name is Jeff Lightsy Jr. This is the Victor Formation Sports Show. Come on into the room. I'm reading your comments. Hit that like button as you come into the room. How you doing, Nelly? What's going on, Victor? Christopher, everybody that's coming on into the room. And yes, go Tigers, because the Tigers seem to always be on everyone's mind. And so this is now I see what's going on. Val, how's everybody doing? I haven't been done a live show in a while, so I'm glad to see you all piling on into the room. Hit that like button as you come into the room. Hit that like button, hit that share button, because what I've been seeing on the internet the last few days have been very, very interesting. What's going on, Aaron and Quentin and Mike and Robert? What is happening, everybody? Sherelle, everybody, what's going on from Louisiana? Because I've been seeing some of these back and forths on social media, some of these back and forths on Twitter, some of these back and forths on all of these different. What's going on, Vizon, my man? What's going on with you? And it's interesting. It's so interesting, because I see a lot all the time. People get upset that Jackson State gets a lot of coverage. Now, obviously, they got a lot of coverage for obvious reasons when Deion was there. When Coach Prime was there, you know, he's a mountain, right? And mountains take up a lot of space, right? Mountains are huge. Mountains are glorious. Mountains are mountainful, right? So they take up a lot of space. And so he got a lot of attention, and people kept saying, yo, when Deion leaves, yo, before Deion, y'all wouldn't get no coverage. And after Deion leaves, y'all won't get the same coverage, right? Like, that's what I heard. And a lot of folks actually believe that. And now it seems, since Coach Prime has actually left Jackson, it's like they get talked about more than anybody. Like, they get talked about more now that Deion is gone than they did when Deion was there. Let me say this again. They get talked about more now that Deion is gone than he was actually there. And here is how I know that is the truth. Because we're talking about the prices of season tickets. Right now, currently, there is active talks on social media about the prices of season tickets. Now, someone says, no, they don't, right? Yeah, ESPN might not be talking about them as much as they did when Deion was there. Okay. ESPN. Okay, that was expected. But if you're just taking a Twitter poll or HBCU poll or Twitter streets or HBCU streets, they get talked about more, it almost seems, now than they did when Deion was there. And the simple fact that folks are talking about the cost of season tickets. Let me know there's validity to that. Here's why. Now, here's the thing about it. I've been covering college sports. I've told you guys, I've been covering college sports for the better part of a decade, like better part of 10 years. I'm 27 years old. I've been covering college sports since I was a freshman in college at 17. So that's 10 years. I have a nice round survey of 10 years. I've covered, FBS teams, FCS teams, mid-major teams, Power 5 teams, Group of 5 teams, whatever. I've covered all of it, high school teams, all of it in the age of social media, right? In the age of social media. And never have I ever, in 10 years of doing this thing, so that's a nice round number, have I ever seen the prices of season tickets be a topic of conversation. I've seen how many tickets sold, attendance, how many people actually go to the games, how many season tickets are being distributed, sold, given away, whatever. Yeah, some of those are like little, chatty. I've never, ever seen the discussion of the price of season tickets being talked about. And some of y'all are like, some of y'all might not have it, because if you're not on Twitter and if you're not following certain people, you may have no idea what I'm talking about. Okay, so let me kind of give you some context. Let's round this whole thing out. So Jackson State put out a video. Their team, great job. Shout out to ASVP, Mr. Austin. They had Zoe, and they had, Zoe from the Tiger Talk, the 1400 Club. And Coach O, the tight ends coach, put out a video about getting your season tickets. That's what the premise of their video was, to encourage their fan base to buy their tickets. They did like a little, play, like funny. Like he was like, hey, I'm your homeboy. Your coach is from Macomb. I'm from Jackson. Zoe's from Jackson. Get your tickets. And Zoe was sitting there in a suit and a fitted. And it was it was their thing. It was the way that they decided to go. And my guy, my guy Scotty, all script, Master Troll. He decided, he made fun of it, right? Like he made some jokes and he did a video about it, doing his thing or whatever. But then that spilled over to Twitter. Like people saw his video, enjoyed it because he makes good content. And then I think the price of the tickets came out, right? The price, I think they said it was $110 for the 4 home games that Jackson State has. And I'm going to show you the tweet that essentially all stemmed from Scotty's video, right? And it came from, it started with my girl. She loves D. Shout out to you. I know she's a fan of the show. We brought her on. This is my peoples. She put this out because some of the JSU folks wasn't feeling the fact that Scotty was poking fun at them in their video. And she goes, it's amazing folks want to tell Jackson State how to operate business in the realm of football. Why would we need to switch up our stance when we've had the top attendance in FCS? Which is true, by the way. They have had the top attendance in FCS. They set the record for attendance before Deion, and then they broke said record 2 times during the Coach Prime era. Let's continue on. Our target market is different. Our audience is different. Our fan base is different. We aren't breaking things that are already working. We are promoting and capitalizing on that. And as you can see, that tweet got 15,000 views. So that means a lot of people, she put that at 11 o'clock at night and it's got 15,000 views. So it means, some people would consider that, doing pretty good. Anything that I get, if you get 15,000 views, it's pretty nice. It's pretty good. It's pretty freaking good. But because of those 15,000 views, it led to a lot of dialogue between different people and different fan bases and different things and different opinions, right? And so if you scroll down, that's the video of get your damn tickets. And then she said, and some people were asking, who's mad at us now? Everyone. And then folks need to quit worrying about Jackson State, all this stuff. Let me get to the tweet. So from here, you had this account. It's like a parody account. It says, y'all had the top attendance because your tickets were $35. So that is a parody account of Coach Willie Simmons. And he said, y'all only had the top attendance because y'all only sold them for $35. Now, some would take that as a shot. Some people would feel however they feel about that, whether there's validity to that or no, I don't know. I'm not here to fact check that. But what I did notice was after that is what came after that. And what came after that was this. Now, this is where I get to the fun stuff. This is when it starts getting funny. because he's like, yo, y'all only sold out because y'all tickets were only $35. It's like, you could take that as, I don't know how, like, I'm not even gonna lie to y'all. I haven't paid for many games in a while. Like, I don't really, like, I go to a lot of games and I cover them. So you get in for free. So I haven't paid for a lot of games. So I don't know what I haven't paid for an HBCU game. So I don't know what the price of said HBCU games are supposed to be. But what was funny about him saying, yo, y'all tickets were only $35, is why I sold out, is because if you look at a FAMU game, because he's a FAMU account, if you look at a FAMU game, just last season, they were selling tickets for $15. So the Willie Simmons account was like kind of trolling, like, yeah, y'all can sell out because y'all only selling for $35. Well, how about we lower it to 15 and see how many tickets we can sell? So that was funny. Like, that was hilarious because they actually, this is not Photoshopped. This is not cap. This is a real thing from FAMU in their game against Valley. They were selling tickets for $15. Now, my favorite, the favorite in it, one of the best follows on Twitter. I don't know his real name. I don't know who he is. He don't even have a picture for his AV. He just goes by the name of Dre. The Twitter name is @DNJ Trenton. So I'm guessing the name is DJ Trenton or Dre for short. He might be the funniest on Twitter. He might be the funniest dude on Twitter, right? And so, because you know, Scotty's funny, man. He goes back and forth, right? Like, he loves to go back and forth. He don't care who you are. He's going to have something to say, right? So they put that thing about Jackson State tickets only being $35, whatever. You know, some of that, okay, it is what it is. So Scotty goes, because apparently the word is the Jackson State season tickets are $110. He says, yo, $110 for season tickets. If that ain't a homeboy discount, I don't know what it is. I think in the video, in the Jackson State and the Coach O with Zoe video, they said, we're your homeboys. And he's saying, yeah, I gave him a homeboy discount. Okay, you know, just throwing jokes. Then you had some people like Banks he does the HBCU Nightly, all that stuff. He's like, yo, people just be talking. You can't even make a profit off $110 season ticket package. What is this? High school? So these are real tweets. These are not Photoshop. This is not me. I was like literally watching all this happen in real time and kind of like, okay. And then Scotty comments and goes, and they wonder why they lead the FCS in attendance. They're giving tickets away. The cost of print is the only expense covering it. They said security, checking people at the vet. You know, they cracking jokes. Stan Becton, who a lot of Jackson State fans have disdain for, they're like, yo, $110 for tickets is wild. That's like $22 a game. Like, they're all like throwing jokes, right? Like, they're all like kind of going in on JSU, just making jokes or whatever. But see, little do they know is that Mr. Dre, he has a lot of time on his hands. And he don't let he want all the smoke. Like, he don't let people just scathe on by. So you remember, Banks said that, you know, that it's like high school. He said, so Dre, now this is where facts hurt feelings. You know, because facts be hurting folks' feelings. So Dre posts this. He says, yo, because he says, I know y'all enjoying this talking, but FYI, these are the top 5 FCS schools in ticket revenue and their starting prices for season tickets. Montana starts at $200. North Dakota State starts at $270, $237, which is higher. North Dakota, which is one of the top programs in FCS, starts at $110. Then there's Jackson State at $110, and South Dakota State is actually starting at $99, right? So it's like, dang, like that's pretty comparable to other FCS programs. These not even HBCU programs. These are just other FCS programs. And part of the reason, and I don't want to speak for Dre, but part of the reason probably why he didn't mention HBCU programs, because it's hard to find the starting price of HBCU programs season tickets. Like, if you go to FAMU, right, if you type in FAMU football season tickets and you look it up and you go to their official website, they say give them a call or pull up to the brag to get prices on season tickets. And it's like that for a lot of programs. So it's hard. They don't even have prices out there. But there is a couple that do. And one of them happens to be the school that Banks graduated from. And that happens to be Morgan State. Now remember, Banks said that Jackson State selling season tickets for $110 is like high school. That's what he said. That's what he said. Now, this is what Mr. Dre, this is what he pulled up. He actually pulled up Morgan State, which Banks is an alumni of, or at least claimed he is a fan of. He pulled up their season ticket package. And wouldn't you believe it? So this was Banks' original tweet. People be talking, you can't even make a profit off $110 season ticket package. What is this, high school? And if you look down there at the bottom, just right here, let me see if I can zoom in on it. The season ticket price package starts for Morgan State. Starts at $75. It starts at $75. So if $110 is high school, what is 75? What the hell is 75? Like, is that like Pee Wee? Is that like Pee Wee League? And there's no disrespect to Morgan State, Coach Wilson. I know I've had Coach Wilson on the show. There's no disrespect to them. But this is like, kind of put your foot in your mouth, doggy. like you probably bit off a little more than you can chew, doggy. Because your school, they start at 75. That's, carry the 1 minus the 2, carry the 1. It's about $35 less than Jackson State. It's a lot less than Jackson State. Like, come on, bro. Like, so there was that. So you had the FAMU thing where they said, $35 for a ticket is wild. But they were selling tickets for $15. And then you had, selling season tickets for $110 is wild. But y'all selling season tickets for $75. Something, this stuff ain't adding up, G. Like, I don't know, man. I ain't the brightest bulb. I ain't the brightest light bulb, but this kind of backfiring. This is kind of backfiring, y'all. Like, I'm telling y'all, I've been doing this for 10 years. I've never seen a discussion like this over season tickets. Like, I've never, like, in a very, very long time, I've never, and then the thing is, people get upset, right? Like, people get upset because a bunch of different, outlets, whether it's, shout out to She Loves These in the chat, shout out to Yard Talk in the chat, shout out to the ladies, man. But people get upset because Jackson State gets talked about on a lot of different outlets, whether it's HBCU Game Day, HBCUsports.com, my channel. Then they have a bunch of different, like, personal channels, like channels dedicated just to Jackson State. She Loves These one. KC 1400 is one. Then you have Tiger Talk with the 1400 is one. Those are strictly dedicated to Jackson State. Then you have channels like mine that talks about Jackson State a lot. You have HBCU Overdrive talks about Jackson State a lot. So people get upset. It's like, why are you always talking about Jackson State? They lost the Celebration Bowl. They ain't the top dogs. They ain't that. And it's like, okay, you say that, right? But then you have like kind of interesting conversations like this taking place online. And y'all wonder why, like, this is actually happening in real life. Like, people talking about Jackson State season ticket prices. That Jackson State didn't tell y'all to talk about their season ticket prices. Folks decided to do that. And more power to them. Because they know that'll get engagement. Just like they, talking bad about Jackson State gets engagement. Talking good about Jackson State gets engagement. It all gets engagement. So, like, there's 11 other SWAC schools. There's 11 other SWAC schools, and there's 8 MEAC schools. But y'all decided on this, between yesterday and today, on this Wednesday and yesterday being Tuesday, to talk about Jackson State season ticket prices. They can't help it. You're right. They can't help it. And that's why I'm like, and that's the thing. It's not a bad thing, but then don't flip that and be mad when be like, why are y'all talking about Jackson State? They didn't win the Celebration Bowl. They're not the best team. They lost their coach. They lost. That's all true. All of that stuff is very true. So talk about Grambling. Talk about FAM, Prairie View, Bethune, Texas Southern, Prairie View, You know what I'm saying? But instead, y'all talking about JSU ticket prices. Really? Season ticket problem? That was pretty interesting. That was pretty interesting to have a conversation about the JSU senior season ticket prices and then to have that stuff blow up in your face. Now, Banks came back and was like, yo, we live in Baltimore. There's not, Baltimore. Sorry about that. Baltimore. There's more to do in Baltimore than go to college football games. That's true. He was like, there's 5. But that doesn't take away the fact that y'all selling season ticket prices for less than what you called high school prices. That don't take that fact away. You're right. There's a hell of a lot. There's the Ravens. There's Morgan. There's a bunch of stuff. But you said they were selling it for high school prices. And then now y'all selling it for less than high school prices. So let's say about you guys. That was a little different, A little different. What's going on your own with Jeff? Oh, they hung up. Yeah, the phone lines are open. You can call in, Chris. There's a number on the screen, 727. Oh, let me see. 727-731-8723. I just got to know, man. Like, I planned on going live today. It wasn't to talk about season ticket prices. I promise you. It wasn't to talk about season ticket prices, but all of those interactions really, really, it was interesting because it was like, yo, y'all wonder why Jackson. And here's the thing about the folks from Jackson. Y'all wonder why they so braggadocious. Y'all wonder why they so arrogant. Y'all wonder why they so, because y'all talk about them all the time. Hell yeah, I'm gonna be turned. I'm gonna be braggadocious. I'm gonna be lit if you always talking about me. What's going on? You're on with Jeff. Hello,
Justin.
What's going on, Justin?
Hello.
Yeah, talk to me.
Hey, man, I got a quick question for you.
Talk to me.
Is that you on the film media room covering all the Coach Prime content?
Nah, I don't know what the film media room is. You only see me on this channel. I don't know what you're talking about.
It sounds like you, man.
Okay, well, yeah, that's not me, bro.
Like, just like you.
Oh, yeah, I have no idea what you're talking about. But I appreciate you calling me,
man.
man.
I could be wrong, man. Yeah.
All right, bro. Yeah, I don't know. I don't know what the hell he's talking about. What's going on? You're on with Jeff. Hello.
Cedric Walker.
What's going on, Cedric? What's on your mind?
Well, let me just start the conversation off. There was an astute guy named Malcolm X.
Talk to me.
And he stated that we as a people, we perish for lack of knowledge.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely.
He also said that the biggest way to fool our people is to read a book.
Absolutely.
If you really want to know the truth, read the book.
Yeah.
So let me go with what I'm about to go with. I'm on the runway now. I'm getting my plane started.
There we go.
Like I stated, for all those people that was doing all this negative tweeting about Jackson State and the ticket sales, I need you guys to pull out your calculators.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Let's say that somebody, which I know they don't because I've looked that up, other teams in the SWAC, they average in the teams as far as, attendance,
mm-hmm.
but neither here nor there. Let's just say
when you say that, you're saying they're counting the teams as a part of their attendance numbers?
No. I said they average attendance are in the teams.
Oh, in the teams.
Like
18,
whoa. You're like 18, 19, But I tell you what, Swag, I'm gonna give y'all 20,000 people. Okay, and I know that's a sellout for most of your stadiums. Okay, so let's do that times. Since you're talking about $30 a ticket, let's do that times $40 a ticket. That's 800,000. Great game, right?
Absolutely.
Now, pre-prime, Jackson State averaged 37,000 people in attendance, even on the 4 and 8 years and all that good stuff.
Absolutely.
And last year, they average. It was more than this, but I'm gonna shave it down. We're gonna say 40,000 people. So SWAC people, get your calculators out too. Now I'm gonna test your education. All right. So we're gonna do 40,000 times $30. Now your biggest game, charging $40 a ticket, and you this state, hey man, you can get an education from here. Okay, cool. But your biggest game, you average 800,000, and I just shaved the numbers off because it was actually 40,000. It was actually way more, close to 50. But anyway, as I digress. So we're just gonna say 40,000 times.
We do got some more callers, so we do got to get to it because we got a lot of people on the line, though.
So my thing is what the hell was the debate about? What are you talking about?
I don't know.
Come on, man.
I have no idea.
Come on, man.
I was totally confused, man. Like, I don't know, man. But I appreciate you calling, Cedric. But I was,
man, take care, man.
Yeah,
all right,
too,
appreciate it.
No, I was just like, what are we talking about? Like, what's going on? You're on with Jeff. Like, I know we're in the summer, but what are we talking about?
Hey, you. This is Rochelle. How you doing?
Hey, Rochelle. How are you doing, Miss Snow Gray?
I am doing fine, and I'm just tickled because people just can't let us go.
It's wild.
They don't know what to do with. They don't know what to do without us. They have to find this is the thing where we don't understand. Jackson State people, we are like parked in these people's brain for free because they don't even understand. They're like, you have to figure out why Jackson State could care less about off script with his little sorry. But I love how you constantly talk about us. Like, you wake up in the morning with Jackson State on your mind. Baby, we know it. FAMU, we know it. Y'all don't talk about no other SWAC or me. But Jackson State is on your brain. So what they don't realize, we trended on Twitter. Thank y'all so much for the 20. Your school, but this is the thing, but they schools never trend. They schools are never trend. Let's think about it.
Yeah.
They schools are never trending. But you go take the energy and time. Matter of fact, your people don't even be doing what we do. Like, we don't even see y'all come up. But boy, can y'all live on us. So I just want Jackson State people to know we laugh at it because we are parked in y'all brain for free. That's it. That's all I got.
Hey, I appreciate it as always, Miss Rochelle. Thank you so much.
Okay, bye-bye.
Bye. No, that's the thing, bro. Like, I come from the lineage of, being humble is overrated, right? But I would really feel that way if y'all say, oh, y'all talk about them too much. But then, okay, it's dead quiet. Oh, Jackson State season ticket prices is only $35. Oh, what are we talking about? We're talking about the price of season tickets, y'all. Come on, man. What's going on? You're on with Jeff.
Hey, it's Calvin calling from Wisconsin. What's up, man?
What's going on, Calvin? What's on your brain, man?
All right, just for fun, I pulled up the ticket sales revenue from a couple of schools. Of course, Jackson State had number one at $4.61 million. Southern had $2.14 million. Grambling had $0.76 million. I couldn't find anything on film, but then I Googled South Dakota State, $4.5 million. So I'm just saying, those $30 season tickets, obviously doing something right.
Something. So it's doing something right. Is pulling in more bread than so this is what, shout out to my guy, Mr. Dre. Hey, this is your stat right on the screen. But I appreciate it, Calvin, because this is exactly what you're talking about. So I appreciate you calling in.
Yeah, good building. Night commission. Good night commission. They got everything in all kinds of athletics.
Absolutely. I appreciate it, Calvin. No, it's absolutely right. So to go on to, just kind of further Calvin's point to kind of hit it home, it says Jackson State brought in $4.6 million for the 21-22 athletic season. The record-setting number ranked fourth among all FCS schools. It means 4. All of them. Not just the HBCU schools, all the FCS schools. And, of course, first among HBCUs. The next HBCU was Southern at $2.1 million, which Jackson State doubled. And they're the only HBCU to crack the top 10. So apparently those $110 season tickets, like as Calvin was saying, must be working. It must be working. I don't know, man. What's going on? You're on with Jeff.
Raymond.
What's going on, Raymond? What's on your mind?
Hey, look, man, it's like this, man. All we want to do down here in central Mississippi and around the state, we just want to love on our Jackson State Tigers. You can say what you want to, but stop hating on our love for our team and our tradition. JSU Tigers forever.
I appreciate you calling in, Raymond. Thank you so much. I appreciate it, man. I mean that's true, man. And like I said, I told you I come from the line of being humble is overrated, right? It's really hard, and it's almost impossible to be humble when you're going down to you're talking about season tickets, the prices of season tickets, not how many season tickets are sold, because you know most people don't want to do that, or attendance, because nobody wants to do that because JSU sets the records and all that stuff. So you don't want to debate about that, but you want to say season tickets is too cheap. But then they make, with those cheap season tickets, they double the next HBCU. Like double it, not just beat them. 4.6 to 2.14, you're doubling your competition. What's going on? You're on with Jeff.
What's going on, Jeff? This is Gabriel from Memphis. How you doing today?
What's going on, Gabriel? What's on your mind?
Okay, now I'm gonna make this quick, and I guess I'm kind of like piggybacking on what you were saying about everybody talking about Jackson State, whether it's good or whether it's bad, it's publicity.
Absolutely.
And I'm thinking, the reason why, this was what I was told when I was growing up, the reason why people hate on you because they want to be you.
Don't say that too loud. We got my girl Yard Talks in the building. She's Grand Fam all the way. Don't say that too loud because folks are gonna say, man, we don't want to be out. We don't want to be out, but it's like it's hard to tell, man. It's hard to tell.
Okay, and I'm gonna say this, and I'm gonna get on off here. If they don't want to be us, check out Prime. Why Prime got Colorado being trying to be like Jackson State band? That's all I'm saying. I'm gone, man. You have a good one, man.
I appreciate it, man, as always. Thank you. Appreciate you calling in, man. And if you want to call in here, the number's on the screen. The number's on the screen if you want to call in here. And now this is shout out to Mr. Dre. Dre put the numbers of the other HBCUs. And so, just to kind of give a comparison, this is what they make as far as ticket revenue. North Carolina A&T, 1.2 million, Grambling, 760,000, South Carolina State, 600,000, all the way down to Alcorn at $220,000, right? And so folks got, feeling how they feel about them $100 season tickets, but it's like, it just seems to be working. What's going on? You're on with Jeff.
Hey, Jeff, this is Mr. Barnes. How you doing, man?
What's going on, Mr. Barnes? How are you?
Good, man. Look, this is very simple, man. Everybody hating on Jackson State, and it's really just been in the last 3 years to be truthful. But they made the biggest move in SWAC history, period. And at least in the last 20 years.
Nobody has nobody. So repeat that one more time.
So it was the biggest move to me in SWAC history.
Okay,
that's just the bottom line.
You saying the hiring
nobody
of Deion Sanders was? Is that what you're saying? Make sure I'm.
Oh, absolutely, absolutely,
okay.
absolutely.
Keep going. I'll just make sure.
Because absolutely. I mean, what other school has made that kind of move in the last 20 years in HBCU?
Hey, I ain't disagreeing.
That everybody's wanting to talk about. So when they made the move, everybody hated on them. Then they doubted them. They succeeded. He left. They hate some more. Now he's gone. They hate him even more. I mean, it's just jealousy. It's just flat out jealousy on it. That's just what it is, and it's okay. You should learn from Jackson State. Jackson State made some bad moves. They made some good moves. Everybody should learn from it and excel from it. That's what they really should be focusing on, but they can't, because as Black people, we have a tendency to hate on each other so bad, we rather tear each other down instead of building each other up. But hopefully we could get, and unfortunately, this is on the education level. This ain't the hood. This the education folks that's hating. That's what makes it so bad.
Yeah, it's interesting to watch, man, because like the thing is, like, people, they understand, like, I do a lot of JSU content. They say I'm a JSU homer, whatever. But one thing I have noticed abundantly, because, you can say that, and I appreciate you calling, man. I appreciate it. But I'm going to just kind of go on this tangent for a little bit. But what I'm saying is that, like, You can say someone like Deion Sanders tipped the scales, right? Like he tipped the scales one way, either for Jackson or whatever. You know what I'm saying? But he's gone. Like he's been gone. We've got like now 6 months worth of data or 5 months. We're in June essentially, and he's pretty much been gone since, let's just call it January. Let's just call it January. Celebration Bowl's at the end of December. Let's call it, or mid-December. Let's call it January. So we've got 5 months worth of data. Like 5 months worth of data. And it hasn't changed. like we've got 5 whole months worth of data, and I'm still like, okay, the most talked about HBCU football program is right there on 1400 Lynch Street. Like the most talked about. No matter what the scenario is, whether it's losing players, gaining players, losing coaches, gaining coaches, doing something good, doing something bad. The most, like there's 11 other SWAC schools. I swear to you, this is not hyperbole. This is not by circumstance. This is not me. There's 11 other SWAC schools. 11. Like Jackson State gets talked about more than almost all 11 of them combined. This is not just a joke. They get more attention, at least the Jackson State football program. Let me at least narrow it down. The JSU football program gets more coverage, more talked about, more social media clicks, more hashtags, more tweets, more Facebook posts, more debates in a Facebook group, more comments under YouTube videos than the other 11 combined. This is not like me guessing. This is not me being a homer. This is not me. This is a fact. This is a fact. Their videos get more clicks. Their content get more views, more watch time, more likes, more dislikes, whatever. That's not by accident. That's just not like, oh, there's got to be somebody explain to me, call in, let me know. Why is that the fact? Like, why is that the fact? The FAMU just had an all SWAC defender exit the transfer portal. He literally decided he had offers from other schools to come play. He was in the transfer portal. He got some big time FBS offers like, yo, come play for us. He decides to exit the transfer portal. He makes a video with Coach Willie's, his head coach is in the video. And it's like crickets. It's like crickets. We're on here talking about season tickets and got season ticket prices, not even the actual season tickets themselves. We're talking about season ticket prices from a video Jackson State dropped like 3 days ago. They dropped a video like 3-4 days ago. And we've got hundreds of people tuning in. We've got hundreds of comments flying in. We've got, Scotty's video got thousands of views. Like, this is... Like that, is that not interesting? Like that, there's got to be a case study to that. I didn't go to a SWAC school. So what is y'all thoughts on that? Like, we got to do some kind of case study on that because that is interesting. Like, it's got to be very interesting to y'all, like it is to me. What's going on? You're on with Jeff.
Hey, Jeff, how are you? This is your friend from New York.
Hey, how are you doing? How's it going?
I'm doing very well. It's going very well. So the conversation about Jackson State, the drama about Jackson State, is clickbait. I said this to you before. It's all about money. I actually sat down one weekend and went through all the YouTubers' page. Mm-hmm. Before Prime, they were barely breaking 200 views. Mm-hmm. And now we're creating these videos like fake prophets and pastors acting like jackasses for 3,000 and 5,000 views. That's money. It's fake rage. It's fake rage. With a little sprinkle of jealousy. For jealousy. Okay? They don't have nothing else to talk about. Who's going to click and watch a YouTuber talk about Mississippi Valley?
You take it.
Bethune-Cookman. Jackson State is the hottest thing right now on the heads and tails of a coin. Period.
It's hard to disagree. I mean, it's really hard. The numbers don't lie. It's hard to disagree. I mean, I'm right there with you. It is hard to disagree.
Listen,
like it's very, very hard.
If I'm not watching Kim's YouTube, if I'm not getting that hype from Kobe, everything else to me that I see on the space is alternative facts.
I'd rather tune in and watch Ken Clark at night because I know he got a seat at the table. Okay?
He does.
I love me some Kobe because Kobe going to dig in and he's going to give you the goods and the bads and how this homeboy who's coming to the team is going to play.
Absolutely.
If all you
Shout out
can
to
do
my
is
boy,
create
Blitz
hype. Yeah, all you can do is create hype and yell. Like, you're not even taking time to build your own platform. How about you create a chat and talk about FAMU? Talk about Bramlett. You know? and let's discuss the young man that came back to FAMU, right?
Absolutely.
I swear to God, I mean, we're off season and they're still talking shit about Jackson State. But at the end of it, they need Jackson State. They need Jackson State. Jackson State lined the pocket. All right, so Jackson State is out here feeding all these motherfuckers. Kevin, that's all I gotta say. I don't tune in to nobody else seriously for that. That stuff is alternative facts out there. If I don't get it from Ken, it's alternative facts, baby.
Hey, I
you have a great
appreciate
night, honey.
You too, as always.
Yes.
Thank you so much. Thank you. No,
have a good night, darling.
Yes, ma'am. No, I mean, like the thing is, like I told you guys, there are like JSU, like obviously you have, you know, Austin and JSU creative team that's there in Jackson, right? Like there's them. And then there's, you know, Ken who does his thing with KC 1400. There's She Loves D who does her thing. And then there is, so they're like, and then there's the Tiger Talk 1400. Like they do like JSU specific, like only, right? They don't really diverge from that. That's what they do. And then you got guys like you said, Blitz City, Kobe over at Blitz City, that does a lot of JSU stuff. You've got HBCU Overdrive with Doc Holliday. Shout out to Doc, who does a lot of JSU, who does mostly JSU stuff, but he mixes and mingles. Like he'll have basketball players from other schools and coaches from other schools or whatever. So he mixes and mingles. And then like myself, who does a lot of JSU stuff, but I'll do other stuff, you know, as you see. But there isn't a lot of like Southern dedicated channels. Like how She Loves D is JSU and Ken's JSU and Tiger Talk is JSU. There's not like a Southern dedicated channel. If there is, point me in the direction. I feel like they just made a channel for their recruiting, but there isn't one like a podcast I can go and learn about the latest recruits from Southern. Or when the Southern recruit, like they just got the guy from Liberty, there's not anyone breaking that story, right? Or getting him to come on for an interview, right? Unless it's like somebody like me. And then there's not like a Alabama. There is an Alabama State dedicated channel, I want to say. I feel like I've seen the Alabama State dedicated channel, but I don't know if they're not consistent or what. But there's not a Valley channel. There's a FAMU channel, but they're not as consistent. You get what I'm saying? Like JSU's the only base that's like consistent breaking stories. They're talking about stories. They're covering the stories. What's going on with Jeff?
Hey, Jeff, how's it going?
Hey, it's going good. What's going on with you?
Hey, this is Kevin. Hey, you know why if everyone talks about Jackson State?
Why is that?
It's because secretly they want Jackson State to fail. I mean, they've been all in the news. Everyone sees what's happened with the former coach and everything. And they secretly want Jackson State to fail. Just so that I guess they can say, we told you so. We told you so.
Yeah, Kevin, your audio is a little bad, man. We gotta get you out there, but I appreciate it. But no, I definitely think there's some truth to that. Like there are people that are hoping JSU goes 6-5 this year. There's a ton of people waiting to light the cigars and get the bourbon or the whiskey or the tequila or vodka and have a toast, pop the champagne, and Jackson State loses their first game of the year in the MEAC SWAC Classic to South Carolina State, or loses their second game of the year in the Orange Blossom Classic to FAMU, or loses to a Texas State. And they ain't got nothing to do with HBCU or the SWAC or nothing, but they waiting for them to lose. You get what I'm saying? like all of these things are reality. Like there are people that are lining up and can't wait to see it happen. Now, what happens if it don't happen? Like what happens if they win that game against South Carolina State? Or if they win that game against FAMU? Or they win that, or Lord B, they win that game against Texas State, an FBS school. Like what happens then? Like what'll happen then? You know what I'm saying? Because the buildup of this football season, it's not just them too. It's not just them, because I think FAMU will have a really good team. I think FAMU has a legit chance of beating JSU. Like they really do. I told you, I just got back one of the better defenders in the entire conference. They're one of the few teams in the SWAC that's returning their starting quarterback, a starting quarterback who had a winning record. Like these are all real things. There's a lot of question marks on JSU. Like that all is true. But what happens if they do win? I mean, what happens if they do make something happen? What's going on? You're on with Jeff.
Hey, Jeff, I think we got disconnected.
There we go. Your audio is a lot better, man. Your audio, you was breaking up. It was making a lot of noise. What's going on with you? You said they were jealous. That's where you left off.
Yeah, well, I think they just want Jackson State to fail because I don't see how Jackson failing helps any other HBCUs, but I mean, it's kind of obvious. I mean, I watch the other shows. I mean, I see people really taking delight in all of the dysfunction that Jackson State might have had, but I mean, come on. I mean, they're gonna do okay.
What's okay to you? What do you think they'll do? Like, how good do you think they'll be this year?
I think they can win the SWAC again. I mean, they've got by far the best recruiting class of all the guys in all the other teams in the SWAC. I mean, come on.
This is true. This is very true.
I mean, and I'm gonna be the first to congratulate these guys when they prove everybody wrong. Well, that's all I gotta say, Jeff. I mean, they want Jackson State to fail, but I don't think it's gonna happen.
You don't think so? Hey, and there's a bunch of JSU people that don't think so neither. I appreciate you calling in.
All right, thanks, Jeff.
I appreciate it, Kevin. Yo, so somebody put fake voice, and that definitely sounds like a fake. I have no idea who Kevin is. That definitely sounds like a fake voice. I was thinking the same thing. I was like, is this a real person? Am I being played with? Like, what's going on? like, what is going on? But man, this football season, this is going to be one of the most anticipated football seasons in the SWAC for a number of reasons, right? Yeah, SWAC and a fool. I'm weak. Shout out to Coach Simmons too, man. But no, like it's going to be one of the most because I've talked about if I said it once, I've said it 1,000 times. Everybody feels like the crown is up for taking, right? Some people feel like Deion tipped the scales in JSU's favor over the last 2 years. Well, he's gone now. He's in Boulder. He's doing his thing out of Colorado. Shout out to him. Shout out to whatever they got going on out there. And so now you have a team like Jackson State that's like revamped, 70% of the roster, 75, 80% of the roster. They're all SWAC quarterback, running back, offensive linemen, defensive players are all gone. Like, right now they've been replaced, but they're all gone with a bunch of guys that some folks feel like aren't good. Some folks are, they're definitely, most of them are unproven or whatever. And so the crown is up for taking, and you got a team like FAMU who's returning a lot, including their starting quarterback who won 9 games last year. You've got teams in the MEAC like North Carolina Central returning like 90% of their roster, right? So like there's all of that going on, and somehow, some way, we're sitting here talking about JSU season ticket sale. With all of that, Grambling got their starting quarterback back and had a really good recruiting class. And, a bunch of different schools. Prairie View's looking to step up. Texas Southern's returning their quarterback. He's got to get healthy, but they're returning their guy. There's a bunch of storylines everywhere. Coach McNair being disrespected, being put number 3 on the coaches list in the SWAC. They put him at number 3, not at number 2. Not at number 1. They put him at number 3 over at Alcorn, and he's the only one in the conference with a conference championship to his name. Well, take that back. Connell Maynard won in the spring. But regardless, he's the only one with multiple conference championships under his name, and they put him at number 3. And it's still the talk of the town is somehow, some way, still JSU. That is. Like they say on social media, they being the JSU alum supporters, fans, they always say it's always JSU this and JSU that, and folks get upset, but at the same time, it's like they kind of got a point. They kind of got a point. And I just thought that whole conversation was hilarious. Now Miss Yard Talk asked me to put up the ticket revenue, so let me shout out to once again my man Dre. said JSU brought in $4.6 million in ticket sales from 21 to 22 athletic season. The record-setting number ranked fourth among not HBCUs, but fourth among all FCS schools, and of course, first in HBCUs. Southern was the only HBCU to crack the top 10. Now, their ticket number was 2.14 million. JSU doubled that. They literally doubled that. And then if you scroll down, he put the other HBCUs with their ticket numbers for the 21-22 fiscal year athletic season. North Carolina A&T at 1.26 million. Grambling at 760,000. South Carolina State at 600,000. Alabama A&M at 590,000. Texas Southern at 510. North Carolina Central at 500. Perry View at 480. Alabama State at 400. Norfolk State at 330. And Alcorn at 220. Now on here, I didn't see, and she asked, where was FAMU? I don't see FAMU on here. Where is Morgan State? I don't see Morgan State on here. These were the two bases kind of poking fun at JSU. I don't see FAMU on there. Now, this could be a typo. I didn't fact check it myself, but they're not on there. Morgan State, they said JSU's $110 season ticket package was like a high school. They're not on there. They're not. Like, it's not. Like, they're not. You dig what I'm saying? They're not. I don't know. Like, somebody point me in the direction of what's happening. Like, you know what I'm saying? Braveheart's disrespecting females. I don't know. What is he doing? Oh, yeah. Okay. Yeah, we can't go for this. Yeah, but I don't know, man. Y'all tell me what's happening. Now, once again, I didn't graduate. I've never claimed to have graduated from the SWAC school. I've only attended games and do all these things. So if someone can come in here, the numbers on the screen, and explain to me how this works, explain to me what's happening, I'm all ears. The phone lines are open. What's going on? You're on with Jeff.
Hey, what's going on, Jeff? This is Charles.
What's going on, man?
You know what I think is going to happen? As soon as Jackson State lose their first SWAC game, I think everybody in the SWAC going to get together and they're going to throw a party. That's what I think they're going to. They're going to get together, they're going to throw a party, they're going to have all the liquor, all the weed you smoke. Because I'm telling you, man, people they just haters, man. You know, they
why is
haters,
it though?
man.
Why do they hate JSU so much? Why is it? Why, Charles?
Well, Jeff, this is the thing. See, everybody want their lick back. We done kicked them for 2 years. They want their lick back. So like I say, soon as we lose, we ain't going to win every game. We may lose a game, but they going to get together and throw a party. But you know what? This train going to keep on rolling, baby. We ain't stopping for nobody. You hear me, Jeff?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir, I do, man. I appreciate you calling in, Charles.
All right, you take care now.
Hey, I appreciate it, man. Nah, man, it is honestly like if for someone who's not a SWAC graduate, someone who just loves sports, right? Someone who loves sports and loves social media. I honestly love social media. I love being on there, seeing the interaction. You get to connect with people all around the world with social media. Just to see the engagement and see the different interactions between alumni, supporters, or whoever of other institutions, of other football programs, of other whatever, and they're like disdain towards one university. And I literally thought it was only like for a long time. I thought it was only because Deion, right? Deion is very braggadocious. He's very bold. And then he was bringing in good players and they were winning. But Deion been gone and it's still happening. So it's interesting to see that. What's going on? You're on with Jeff.
Hey, this is Yarto.
How you doing? What's going on?
What's up? So I just wanted to say this. With the exception of the DDRs, which I was just informed that they still around, which is very interesting to me in the primates. Maybe I don't see them as much because I got a lot of them blocked.
Mm-hmm.
So I've been through a whole lot of SWAC football seasons, and whoever the SWAC football champions are, that's who's gonna get the hate until the next championship game. but of course, like I said, when you add the fact that Coach Prime was their coach, that has added an extra layer. And then now we have a lot more media outlets covering HBCUs also. But that the just the pure hate that the SWAC football champion gets, that's
been
pretty
there.
much standard.
That's been there.
Oh yes, baby, you wasn't there for the Kincaid days, honey.
Okay.
You was not there.
So
Listen,
Ms. Yard
it
Talk, since I got you on here, and I know you're an avid Grambling, you're an avid Grambling supporter. How did you feel about them ranking your coach, Coach Hugh Jackson, at number 9 as the 9th best coach in the SWAC? How did you feel about that? And tell me how much that pissed you off. Because it had to.
It didn't piss me off at all, because first of all, when I saw who was number 1 and it wasn't McMahon, I pretty much disregarded the whole thing.
Ah, man.
So I mean, how make that make sense? That was my whole thing. So it didn't piss me off at all. And I mean, Grambling got to win.
Absolutely.
Point blank. Period.
Absolutely.
I don't do like some schools and be like, oh, well, we did this and we did that, but you didn't win the championship. Either you won or you didn't.
Absolutely.
You giving these second place accolades. I don't want to hear that. Who is the champion? At the end of I'm just saying, like, y'all can try to manipulate the numbers and point out this good thing and this good thing, but did you win though?
Absolutely. Hey, that's all that matters. I appreciate it as always, Miss Yard Talk. Thank you so much.
All right.
Thank you. Yes, no, that is a fact, man. At the end of the day, it's about, whether you was able to win or not. That's really it. That's really it. What's going on? You're on with Jeff.
What's up, Jeff? This is Bakari. What's going on?
What's happening, Bakari? What's on your mind?
Look, I was just calling. I was hear what you're talking about. You know what? Here's a little jealousy in there, but it's like the little brothers want to show the big brother they grown now. That's all it is.
Talk to me. So explain that for the people that don't get that. Explain that to us. Talk to me. I like that.
Sometimes, I'm the youngest of 9, right? I got 7 older brothers, right? So sometimes you got to step up and stick your chest out and let them know. And that's what all these are. And that's what all the other schools doing. They stepping up and they want to stick their chest out to tell Jackson State, it's our turn now. You're our big brother, but it's time for us to replace you. But they're mistaken. Now, the one lady from New York called in. She was good, but she needs to lay off the battle. I'm a JSU fan, but this is going on. JSU, all calling the battle my next, but she need to lay off the battle. But the one lady that just called and say, it's always been that the HBCUs always talking to us about one another, but they ain't gonna let nobody else do it for the most part. The real ones ain't gonna let nobody else do it, right? But I want to say this before I get off. I'm gonna tell you something. Deion Sanders brought a lot of light to Jackson State, right? But because of that, Jackson State now, him leaving is bringing more light to Jackson State, because everybody is waiting to see what they are gonna do. Even people that was never even interested in an HBCU, him leaving has brought more attention to Jackson State than him being the coach. Believe it or not, because everybody want to see it. And I believe Coach TC gonna step up and he gonna do his thing. And I think Jackson State gonna be all right, gonna win the SWAC this year. In a big game during the regular season, they're gonna go to Texas and they're gonna beat Texas State. And on that, I'm out. Peace and one love.
I appreciate it, Bakari. Thank you as always for calling in. I'm sorry about that, guy. It looked like some folks in the chat acting crazy, but man, that man said they're going to Texas and beating up on Texas State. That's an FBS team. Now that will be interesting, and it will be interesting to see how this quarterback battle turns out, because you just added a nuclear weapon in the Jacoby Morgan. That's a big time player right there. So it's going to be interesting to see how he is when he goes up against Jason Brown and the rest of those guys. What's going on wrong with Jeff?
And the Jacoby, that's a big
Talk to me. Right there. Yeah, turn your computer down a little bit.
Goes up against Jason Brown and the rest of those guys.
Hello.
Well, Jeff. I graduated
You got to turn your computer down a little bit. Yeah, there we go.
Well, I graduated from Jackson State many years ago, and Jackson State has been a school that has always shown great leadership and has always been innovative. Even when I was a student there, I was a member of the Sonic Boom of the South, and every school was always ready for us. They did not want to be outdone by the Sonic Boom of the South. No football team wanted to lose to us. So it's a lot of envy, but it's on their parts, but it's leadership. Some schools would lay out the best for us when we visited. Some schools would give us the worst. It just depends on what kind of manners they had. But, you know, Jackson State has been very innovative. What school in the SWAC would have taken a chance to hire Deion Sanders? Jackson State did, and they made the best of it. Good luck to Deion and his endeavors in Colorado. I wish him nothing but success. And I believe TC is going to do a great job. We lost a lot of players, but we've gotten a lot of good players in. So Jackson State is just a leader. In every conference, there's a leader. It's just like with the SEC.
Talk to me. You said so JSU's the leader. You said JSU's the leader of the SWAC when it comes to football.
Academics and anything else. JSU is the leader in the SWAC.
Academics too. Like, oh man, you done took it to the realm of academia. You said academia.
Yeah, so it's a leader. It's a leader. Great school of business, great school of engineering, great school of education, everything. It's a leader. When you take a school like Alabama, the worst school will play their best game against Alabama. If they hadn't done anything the whole season, they're gonna raise up for Alabama. It's just like in the SWAC, the worst record in the SWAC. When it's time to play Jackson State, they're gonna try to do their very best because they want to beat Jackson State. That means something. So that means that Jackson State has always been at the top of the conference, always been a leader.
That's awesome. We got some more calls we got to get to them, but I appreciate you calling in.
All right. Thank
you so much. Thank you. I appreciate it. Now, that man said in the realm of academia, they number one. Now, that man took it off the football field. He said, we the leader of the SWAC. We the leaders. What's going on here with Jeff?
Hey, Jeff, this Raymond calling you back, man. I just have one question so you can ask all the SWAC and you can ask all the college football. The week that South Carolina State and Jackson State play, who have the nightcap game on ABC?
Who got it? You talk to me. You seem to know the answer. So who got the nightcap game?
Yeah, I think you know it too, and the world knew it. Jackson State and South Carolina.
Yeah, absolutely. They do. So the MEAC SWAC challenge has been flexed to ABC on week 0. So that's what he's talking about.
Yeah. So tell them, how can they pump up and power up? But I'm not gonna hold you long. I'm gonna say this.
Talk to me.
Everybody is throwing a spotlight on Jackson State attendance. When I was now listen to me. I'm gonna take you back. When I was a kid, back in 1984, when even though it was all Corn and Valley played up there at Memorial Stadium, it was at least 65,000 in the stadium. I'm talking about people hanging over the rail. And I'm gonna tell you something, man.
Back in the 80s.
I'm gonna tell you something, man.
Back in the 80s, it was like
yes, exactly. When they had W.C. Gordon up there and Houston Hoover and Dent and all them guys, Darren Connors, it was still the same thing. This ain't just started happening. This been happening. That's what I had told you a while back.
You did. Yes,
when I had called.
Yes, you did.
When they had W.C. Gordon and all them guys that come through, and Big Daddy Carson and Lewis Tim and them all, and Sylvester Stamps and the cat Mr. Morris and all them guys. This ain't just started. It's been going on.
They right. just. I appreciate. We got some more callers, but I do appreciate you calling in.
All right, man.
Hey, I appreciate it as always, man. That man said it's been happening since the 80s. Do you hear me? This has been happening. This is nothing new. What's going on? You're on with Jeff.
How you doing, Jeff?
What's going on? How are you?
Pretty good, pretty good. I was calling in about the love for Jackson State and the Jackson State and how people love Jackson State.
Mm-hmm.
And what I can say about it is, when I was young, I'd never even thought about going to college. One day, a friend of mine and I, we skipped school. We went down to a pep rally, Jackson State pep rally against one homecoming. And the way the city was on fire, the way the people rallied around the school, rallied around the band, rallied around the football team, it just was a roar around the whole city. And it just captivated me and gave me a warm feeling that I never thought I felt. And from that day forward, I had a love for Jackson State. And that's what caused me to go to school at Jackson State, just the love and the experience of being out there with the people, really enjoying the atmosphere and the love that we had for the school. And it's like I said, I never even thought about going to college until that day. And ever since then, it's just been a love affair with Jackson State, and just things have always been that way. And it was in the early 2000s. This hadn't even been this long ago.
And that's all. We got some more calls, but that's an awesome story, man. I appreciate you calling in and letting us know.
Thank you.
Hey, it's no problem at all. It's no problem at all. So I got on the screen right now, we've got JSU's schedule on the screen. Shout out to my boy Jonathan Dobbins over at Light On Sports, Light On College Sports. Put in the chat JSU's record based off this schedule. You got South Carolina State, FAMU, Southern, Texas State, Bethune, Alabama A&M, Alabama State, Valley, UAPB, Texas Southern, and Alcorn. Put in the chat your prediction of JSU's record looking at that schedule. What's going on? You're on with Jeff.
Jeffrey Fields.
Talk to me. What's on your mind?
Hey, how you doing, Jeff? Man, I'm in my car going home from work, but let's get back on ticket prices for a second. I was at work and couldn't call you earlier. But let's do like this. Okay, let's think about that single mom, man, who work at McDonald's, who got 2 kids that want to take them to the game. $35 is affordable. You got to look at the community. You got to look at the economic going on in Jackson. Well, I think they're pricing tickets to where the economic part of it that people can afford to go. Absolutely. You know, I think that's a big part of it. And I'd rather have 60,000 people in a stadium with $35 tickets than 15,000 people with $100 tickets.
I mean, that makes sense, man. I get it. I agree. So it's a good way of looking at it.
You can make it affordable. Yeah, you can make it affordable for people to come. Low-income people. Jackson got a lot of low-income people. Even though you got people come in, alumni come in, that bring money and spend money in Jackson. But the base of Jackson is not a high-income area. Like some other schools, like in Florida, in Gainesville, Florida A&M, I mean, all those other schools, Southern. You got all these chemical plants here in Baton Rouge, Louisiana, where guys making a lot of money to the point where they can afford if the ticket was $60, $70. Jackson don't have that type of economic background to have tickets of $60, $70, $80 a ticket.
That's an interesting point, man. You know? Man, it's an interesting point. And I mean, I appreciate you calling in, man. Thank you so much, though. I appreciate it. And the thing is, why, if it ain't broke, why try to fix something that ain't broke? If you are the number one HBCU when it comes to revenue, athletics, and you're top 5 in all of FCS, why change the recipe if it's working? What's going on? You're on with Jeff.
How you doing, Jeff? This is Mark.
What's going on? What's on your mind?
And I'd like to say one of the things that the other caller said before me. There's nothing like going to the vet. It's unlike any other place in the whole world. And anyone who's ever been there, they know what I'm talking about, Jeff. And I'd like to invite everybody, young or old, black or white, to meet me on the 50-yard line at the vet. And Jeff, that's all I got to say about it.
Yo, it is definitely the same person. Yes, it was. But what just Yo, what just happened, dog? That man put on a Martin Luther King voice to rep JSU. That man reached into the MLK bag to get y'all to come to the vet. Yes. That man reached into the MLK bag to let y'all know to meet him at the vet. If that ain't a dope fan base, I don't know what is. You reaching into the MLK bag, the Martin Luther King bag. Yo, dog. Yo, oh my God. Oh my God. So okay, I'll get my let me get myself together. So I asked what you all we got the JSU schedule on the screen. We got the JSU schedule on the screen. Let me make sure you can see it. We got South Carolina State, FAMU, Southern, Texas State, Bethune, Alabama A&M, Alabama State, Valley, UAPB, Texas Southern, and Alcorn. With that schedule, what do you believe JSU's record will be? And there go Ken, there goes right there. Get your tickets. What do you think? And I saw a variety of answers. I saw some undefeated. I saw 6-5. I saw 13-0. I saw, best 10-1, 9-2. Harris says 9-2 at best, 10-1. What is it like? And I'm just curious, what is your reasoning behind thinking they'll go 9-2, 10-1, 6-5, 7-4? Somebody they're going to start off the season 0-4. They think they're losing to South Carolina State, FAMU, Southern, and Texas State all the first 4 games of the season. Some folks said they ain't getting the first win until Bethune. Like, what do you think? Why is that? And if you got a reasoning, call in. There's the number on the screen. You can tell me. FAMU by 80. FAMU by 80. You got JSU by 4. Like, why is that? Why do you think FAMU is that much better than JSU? There's no wrong answer, at least unless you just say something that's just obliviously stupid. But there's no real wrong answer. The only question is Texas State. 12-1 Texas State, no lower than that. 59-3. Texas State by 100. I'm just looking at some of your things. 4-7. Why do you think they're going 4-7? I mean, 4-7's it's a bit much. I think they're way too talented to go 4-7. I don't know about that one. So, but this is what they do. This is what one thing I'll say about JSU. This is what they do, and what they do, meaning they get the people talking, good or bad. I mean, we just had an MLK impersonator call in to tell y'all to meet him at the vet, which I found hilarious. But to kind of put a bow on this thing, and the call numbers up, and unless y'all got anything else to say, to kind of put a bow on this thing, man. The simple fact that JSU season ticket prices can get folks engaged, can get folks talking, whether they're talking facts or fiction, regardless, they're talking, lets you know there's something there, man. Like there's something there. I don't know what to call it. Some of y'all called in and said it was jealousy. Some of y'all said, no, that's just what happens when you win the SWAC. Some of y'all, I used to think it was just Deion. I was like, yo, they're doing that because it's Deion, and I get it. And hell, but now it's like I see why folks with JSU wear that JSU across their chest, on their chest, with a badge of honor. Because if y'all talking about them folks' season ticket prices, it's like, yo, there's a bunch of other stuff going on in the world of SWAC sports, SWAC football, individual school football, whatever. And y'all talking about JSU season ticket prices. Really? Really? Like, it's very, very interesting. It is very, very interesting. Shout out to Zobi dropping the facts, man. He said FAMU has a total of 25 points since they last got a W over JSU, and now they want to say win by 8. Yo, Zoe actually had a funny interaction on Twitter too. Y'all know I keep my ear to the Twitter streets. Oh no, he actually had a very funny Twitter interaction with our guy, our friend from over at HBCU Nightly, Mr. Joshua Sims. Hold on, let me see if I can find that real quick. Then I'm gonna get out of here, man, because it's a lot. He had a funny interaction about so Josh, obviously, he's doing victory lap on top of victory lap because obviously North Carolina Central won the Celebration Bowl, right? Like for North Carolina Central, you know, whether they like it, love it, hate it, or whatever, they won the Celebration Bowl, but they fly under the radar. Like they're not a team that gets a lot of notoriety. They're not a team that gets a lot of pub, but they're a team that's bringing back a ton of talent. Like they're bringing back a ton of talent. And so this is the Twitter interaction between Zoe and Mr. HBCU Nightly, Josh. And so just how we showed the JSU schedule, Mr. Light on College Sports, Jonathan Dobbins put up what would North Carolina Central's record be. And this was Josh's answer. He said 10-0, 9-1 at worst. We opened the season against our two oldest rivals. We're going to shock the world. He said they're going to beat UCLA, clear out the state of Mississippi, beat the two teams from another FCS conference, and run the table in the MEAC. So he's saying 10-0. 9, and then Zoe goes 7-4 or 8-3. The best y'all can do is 9-2. And man said the best y'all can do is 9-2. And he said 9-2. Who's the 4-3 losses? He said 9-2 for JSU. And then they go on to have like this funny interaction. But that man, he wasn't feeling them saying all they can do is go 9-2. And they kind of had, they kind of had an interaction I thought was pretty funny. Let me see if I can get this caller in. What's going on? You're on with Jeff.
Willie.
What's going on? What's on your mind?
Well, Jeff, thank you for taking my call.
Yes,
sir. I heard Scotty and Campbell. I wasn't expecting you to have this platform, babe. I want to say something because I know all those haters are out there listening.
Talk to me.
They talk about it's all about hate. It's all about hate. All right. What's the purpose of having a 35,000 seat stadium, FAMU? You only putting 15,000 in there. This is how you do the math. I want you to do the math. Smart guys, y'all smart asses. This is how you do the math. If you charge $80 a ticket and you only getting 12 or 13,000 fans in your seat in your stadium, and we charging $35, $40 a ticket, and we getting 55,000, that's over $2 billion. Then when you put more people in the stands, dumbasses, you sell more concessions. So how do it make sense? How do it make sense? If you only getting 15,000, do you think 15,000 fans going to sell more concessions than 55,000 fans?
Not at all. It's not a chance.
Right.
It's not a chance.
Right. So that $35, $50 times 55,000, do the math, it's over $2 million. But you only getting 12,000 at $80 a seat or $80 a ticket. It don't make no sense. Y'all smart asses. Y'all got these educations, don't know shit. Thank you for taking my call.
I appreciate it. Hey, yo, that is an underrated thing. The concessions is a thing. Now, I thought this was like the concessions is definitely a thing. You got 40, 45, 50,000 people in there. You're going to sell a lot of hamburgers and chicken tenders and fries and Gatorades and water. It gets real hot in Mississippi. Sell a lot of water and Gatorade and pops and whatever. You know what I'm saying? Make a good point. I did think this was funny, though. Zoe goes, hey, 9-2 for JSU would be great, but we lost way too much and got an unproven staff. We'd be lucky to go 6-5 with that schedule, man. And so we'd be lucky to go 6-5. I just thought this was funny. I don't know. And another thing. So another thing was they got 6,000 season tickets sold. It's a lot of season tickets, man. It's a lot of season tickets. With those season tickets, you're selling a lot of parking passes. With those season tickets, You're selling a lot of space, tailgate space. I mean, yeah. He said that they didn't beep the sarcasm. I didn't read the whole thread, so they didn't understand it as a sarcastic. They didn't get that when he said that. He said, "Oh, Zoe keeping it a bean, 6-5. Y'all got us a win." So Josh goes 6-5 is a win. Wow, 6-5. So Josh thinks 6-5 is a good record for JSU. He thinks that, which very much could happen. Thinks North Carolina Central will go either 9-1 or 10-0. He's saying 10-0, and thinks JSU will go 6-5. So he expects North Carolina Central to be back in the Celebration Bowl, and JSU to be in the Cereal Bowl. You know what I mean? Like to be at home watching someone else represent the SWAC in the Celebration Bowl. So they got 6,000 season tickets sold already, and they're shooting for 15,000. You get 15,000. Now, Zoe, answer me this. How many season tickets were sold? What was the most amount of season tickets sold during the Deion Sanders era? That's a good question. And can you sell more season tickets this year than you had in the 2 fall seasons with Deion Sanders? Is that possible? Because, I mean, that's pretty impressive. If you sell more tickets now than you did when you had Deion Sanders as your head coach, that's saying something. That is saying something. Oh, y'all saying somebody else? I thought I had moderators, man. I might need to add some more moderators because y'all seeing somebody else. See, we don't need nothing crazy. So about 6,400. So the most amount they sold during the Deion Sanders era was 6,400, I'm assuming, because that says 64,000. I don't think he meant 64,000. Let's say 6,400. I think he added one too many zeros. Our high there, so their high is a shade over 8,600. And so it's June, by the way. Like it's June, and you've got 8,600 season tickets already sold. I mean, no, you got 6,000 season tickets already sold, and it's June. And you got a new coach, new coaching staff, new quarterback. 80% of the roster is new, and you've already sold 6,000 season tickets, and the high with Deion was 6,400. It's pretty impressive, man. That's pretty freaking impressive. Like, I'm not even gonna lie. That is pretty freaking impressive. I don't know, like that. That's pretty freaking impressive, dog. And you're high. So you're so Zoe, you're telling me Deion actually didn't set the season ticket record? Like, so his seasons, they didn't set the record. Like the high for Jackson State season tickets is 8,600. First of all, that's a hell of a lot of season tickets. Like, that's a hell of a lot of people committing to make sure they'll be at the vet each and every single Saturday that JSU plays a home game. And then to never have topped that with Deion is actually is surprising to me. That actually is pretty surprising. I thought Deion and his staff and his run would have actually held the record. That is actually interesting. And, I didn't see this one from Josh. He said Zoe's keeping it a bean with the 6-5. I actually missed this tweet. He said, "Yo, he's keeping it real by saying they're only gonna go 6-5." Yo, all of this is hilarious, man. I love Twitter so much. I love Twitter so much because you see the interactions with people, you see everything that's going on. And okay, so we get 10,000. Oof. That is oof. That'll definitely be crazy. That'll definitely be crazy, man. I just can't wait to fall. The reason why I can't wait till games are being played and we can stop having live streams. I hate to say it, but we won't have live streams about season ticket sales, especially when you're on pace to break your own record. And that's the thing. Like, I don't know. Like, I've been in this thing for 10 years. I've never once discussed the price of season ticket sales ever. We just talk about how many you sold. right? Like every school tries to sell out a season ticket. Every school tries to do their best to get as many people to come to their games as possible. If you're saying that your school doesn't care about how many people attend their games, that tells me all I need to know about your school. If your school does not care about how many people come to their games, tells me your school's not used to people coming. That tells me your school's not used to people coming to the games. If they don't care at all, that's not to say that attendance numbers and attendance records and all that stuff is the end-all be-all. But if you don't care at all about how many people are showing up each and every Saturday to your games, that means you're not used to people coming to your games. Point blank, period. That's just the truth. What's going on here with Jeff?
What's going on, man? It's Zoe.
What's happening, Zoe? What's on your mind, buddy?
Listen, I just wanted to run something by you.
Talk to me.
Our ticket sales have pretty much been kind of consistent, but we really could do 15,000 season tickets. The reason why it's so hard for us to pass that threshold, people have to remember, the vet holds 62,000.
Mm-hmm.
And then not only does it hold 62,000, but it's the only stadium in the conference with general admission. So you got to remember, typically when you buy a ticket to a stadium, you have a assigned seat.
Have a seat number. Yes. Mm-hmm.
So we don't, and the vet doesn't have assigned seating. You can sit wherever you want to. So we have to fight against, I can wait to game day to get a ticket because I can sit wherever I want to. I'm not confined to a certain seat.
Yes, that makes sense.
So we have to fight against that. So just imagine with the way the fan base is, if we had a 35,000 seat stadium. Now you're talking about our numbers for season tickets will be through the roof. The demand will be crazy. See, that's the thing that people don't realize. So we're actually fighting against ourselves in regards to doing this.
No,
but we're going to get that 10,000 threshold this year. We got some initiatives going. We got some things in place that we're trying to do. So that's even part of the reason why I even want to make this call. So anybody who can hear my voice, go get your damn ticket. But yeah, we're going to cross the threshold. We're going to get 10,000 season tickets sold, and it'll be the first time ever an FCS program ever did that. Forget a HBCU. We're not measuring ourselves to that. We are the rising tide. We in a boat. So the thing is, we lead the charge. We're blazing a new trail. So we'll be the first FCS program to have 10,000 season tickets sold. And like I said, just be mindful. You got Prairie View, you got Valley, you got Delaware State, you got Morgan State. You got stadiums that hold 10,000, and we're going to sell 10,000 season tickets sold. And then you even if you look at a Grambling Stadium holds, I believe, like 19,006. You got a typical FCS stadium. If you do averages, they pretty much hover around 22,000. Mm-hmm. And we're sitting here talking about we're going to have 10,000 season tickets sold. It's a game changer, and it's done without a Deion Sanders.
Yeah. Now, Zoe, let me ask you this while I got you on the line. Why is it that there has been? I mean, you said the most Deion ever did season tickets 6,400. Why is it that in June we're talking about you got 6,000 sold, and you sound so confident that you'll pass the 10,000 season ticket threshold? Why is it that you're expecting that uptick? Why is the support seem like it's bigger than ever for this upcoming season as opposed to even the 2 years Deion was there?
It's a multitude of things. I'll say this. I got to give Deion Sanders credit. The one thing, and I've said this on numerous occasions, the one thing that he did over everything was he really reinvigorated the entire fan base. Mm-hmm. A lot of the old heads are active now. And now when you factor in that we have one of our favorite sons coming in to lead the program, and now this season has an old school JSU feel to it. Something that anybody who dealt with JSU football from the year 2000 on to today, they probably won't be able to really recognize what's ahead. When we talk about the old JSU and the old JSU feel to it, you have that in play. Plus, bear in mind, we're on a 20-game winning streak in conference. We're the two-time defending SWAC champions.
That is a fact.
And so you have all these other factors, coming into play. And then also, people have this energy right now where we want to prove everybody wrong with regards to Deion Sanders leaving. And so now you have that chip on the shoulder. Plus, like I said, our fan base is really, really woke. And they're saying something because you have to bear in mind, the year before Deion Sanders came here, man, we were 4-8, and we led the nation in attendance with 33,000 fans per game. Like, just think about that. That was a game changer.
Yeah, that's nice. That's
and
nice.
So, but that's going to be it's going to be, it's going to be crazy. So,
Absolutely.
like I said, we got to, and also in the past, what we would do whenever we would do season tickets, we would just pretty much like any HBCU. You'll probably put a little commercial out. You would do little fillers, but there was no real tangible work, you know what I'm saying, from March up until the beginning of the season. I mean, everybody would do little things, but
Yeah.
you don't really foresee real tangible work for it. JSU is doing that now. And like I can tell you, there's active, legit work being done, not just by us, but by the school and a lot of other entities within the city. Even with this email push, there's going to be more stuff coming down the pipe in the next coming weeks. And so we're actually striving for a number. And this is going to be the new normal for us. There is a new normal with a lot of things coming with JSU starting this fall. So
absolutely, man. So, man, I appreciate it as always, buddy, for calling in.
All right, man. Appreciate you. Get your damn tickets.
You heard the man. You heard him himself, man. It is 10,000. You sell 10,000 season tickets, yo. That would be nuts. Like that would be highly impressive. That would be pretty cool if you're able to do that. And shout out to our guy over at the Blue Bloods, Mr. Zach, put in there. He thinks that the FCS record is 18,000 season tickets now. They're not shooting for that. They're shooting for 10. But to get 6, if Deion's highest was 6,400 and you're already at 6 and it's June, we're talking about the start of June. I mean, I think that kind of speaks for itself. That kind of speaks for itself. Well, guys, I've held y'all in here for long enough. Once again, my name is Jeff Lightsy Jr. This is the Victor Formation Sports Show right here on Jeff Lightsy Jr. YouTube, Facebook, wherever you get your content. Before we get out of here, I got to go live more often because you guys are always so awesome. Be sure to hit that thumbs up button before you leave. Thumbs up, like, share, subscribe. And I'll get more of as we get closer to the season, we'll start ramping up these lives and do some different interesting stuff because I really like what Bethune's got going on. I saw they got a big time quarterback today. FAMU, they're one of their better players to come back, get out of the transfer portal. He's going to be playing for Coach Simmons again. And then I still got to talk about the quarterback battle that's taking place at JSU. Jacoby Morgan, Jason Brown, Phillip Shore, Zy McDonald, all of these guys fighting for the QB1 spot at JSU. And Morgan comes in and throws a monkey wrench in the QB1 position battle race that I just didn't see coming out of nowhere. And this is a big time kid, a huge 6'5", 235 pound with a massive arm coming from a Power 5 school. That's huge to get that to your quarterback room. And a lot of people feels like he's the bookend starter. It's something we got to talk about. But thank you. Thank you all for tuning in. Don't forget to hit that thumbs up button before you get out of here. And I will see you guys next time. Peace.